Joining me today is regular guest from Riverside Resources, John-Mark Staude. In this interview, we talk meme stocks, we talk the Fed, we talk commodities, and I even sneak in a couple questions about Riverside Resources. John-Mark, thanks so much for joining us today.
Steve, it's great to be here in Mexico to join you. The power just went out at the office, so I stepped outside to do this, and it's so exciting with Riverside Resources. We're quite flexible with how we do this, and great to be on your show.
Where in Mexico are you joining us from?
I'm actually at our office. You know, it looks like a parking lot behind me. Those are actually trucks and vehicles of Riverside in Sonora, in the capital city of Hermosillo. Hermosillo means beautiful, but right now it's just hot and sweaty. The rains are here, and it's hot. It's kind of like Arizona. It'll be over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It'll be over 35, up to 40 degrees centigrade today.
Okay, so John-Mark, I know you follow the markets. Harvard guy, you're a bright guy. You have to be watching what's happening here with meme stocks. We've got companies that are basically, functionally bankrupt. They've got, let's take Bed Bath & Beyond, $100 million cash on the balance sheet, over $3 billion in debt, burning nearly $80 million a quarter in operating cash flow. Yet here we see a guy like Ryan Cohen swoop in, and suddenly there's a mob of retail investors looking to buy the stock. It takes off. And then we find out that Ryan Cohen was blowing out his paper the entire time. Do you think that retail investors are going to start to look at stocks that actually generate cash flow, that have okay balance sheets? Or do you think that there's just this trend where all they care about is the potential for a short squeeze, and the fundamentals just don't matter?
I do. I think that investors are going to get smart. I think the investors will care. I think that we do have a lot of people that are flipping in and just playing a game, like a gambling, like a casino, throwing money in there kind of crazily. But I do think that investors are going to look for balance sheet, going to pay attention, particularly in a recessionary time, particularly as things get more real now, seriously, that, we definitely don't have everything going up. I think that, yes, they will start to pay a lot more attention, and they will look at what companies really are producing and not just be doing this crazy speculation on what they see on Reddit or something that's speculatively moving up crazily without any fundamentals.
Okay, so moving on here, consumer prices, they slowed last month. I don't know if you saw this, but Joe Biden has declared 0% inflation. Obviously, he was referring to the monthly figure, which nobody uses, and conveniently he didn't use as inflation was climbing up in the annual numbers weren't that high. What do you think the Fed's next couple moves are going to be? You think that we're looking at a pause here in the near term? And ultimately, do you think that the market is reacting appropriately?
Yeah, I actually do. I thought maybe the Fed was not going to pause. I think that maybe the Fed was going to keep going in the last one and then this one. But I do think they look at the numbers. And I've been at a bunch of investment conferences with people that used to work with the Fed, follow the Fed, and they say they really do watch the numbers. So I'm changing from where I thought it was written in. There was going to be another 0.75 increase in September, and really thought, okay, it's going to keep going and they're going to keep on that trend. I wonder if they're going to believe, okay, they're getting these numbers and they're getting on top of it and they're not going to raise. I'd like to see them raise. I'd like to see them keep the continuity. I think that there's a continuing to grow up a bubble in the market. I think the market has gotten over exuberant again and jumped back. And so I think that it's just forcing it to go. So we really are seeing inflation. And I think that the Fed maybe will pass this opportunity, and therefore it'll keep pushing the market in. And so I think that's really go time on the stocks because people are throwing in. But it is really, inflation's out there. And, all the different things I'm doing, they're just a lot more money. Things are costing more.
I heard a theory recently from an executive of a Canadian publicly traded company where he said when the Fed announces that they're going to pivot, so and I don't know if that means a pause or if that means that we're talking about full out quantitative easing or bringing rates down, but that is when gold is going to really rip. You think that if we saw the Fed move backwards at some point in the next, say, 12 months, that we'd see gold absolutely rip?
Totally, I do. I really do. I think and that's why it's not ripping, is that people feel that the Fed is plunking on and we're raising interest rates. And so it's very bad for gold. So as soon as they pivot, pause, I think, yeah, the gold miners are so low. The whole gold industry has really not moved with the rest of the industry. I looked at my portfolio, the Apple, all this other stuff all came roaring back. The gold didn't, but they're producing true value. Ray Dalio, all these people looking at it. So yes, a pivot is huge for gold. And I think that we may be looking at that. And so I'm definitely finding that it's an underappreciated sector and underappreciated ventures right now. Yes.
What do you think of all this recession talk? Do you think we're in a recession right now, or do you think we're heading towards one?
I feel we are in a recession. I think that things have been pulling back, and I also think that. So I do think so. I think we are the overall economy. I really think it's supply driven, supply side. I think that it's really difficult to get the supply lines to feed into things, and so yeah, I do think we're actually in a recession, and it's harder. I think that it's kind of weird. All of a sudden, the oil and stuff has come down in prices, but we just don't have the growth that we think we do, and I think it's tough. Yes.
Let's talk commodities. What commodities are you the most bullish on right now?
It's interesting. A lot of people are really into uranium and they're really going for it. For me, I'm really excited about the rebound in copper. I think that copper is not being appreciated. I think that copper is going to do well. I think that, we are in a recessionary time, and I think that we're getting through this. But if the Fed takes a pause, these other things and what's happening, and if China's coming out of COVID and everything else, and I'm trying to travel on planes, it's just busy as heck. I think copper is really exciting, and I'm really into that. Also, silver's down. It's not getting any love, and yet we need it both for the industrial use and also for the overall dollar use. It's really not matching with the gold as it usually does. So the gold silver ratio is a high number. In other words, that you really have a good run in silver. So those are two elements that I'm really looking at in commodities.
Okay. Let's talk about Riverside. Last June, you guys reported your results from the drill program at the Oaks Gold Project. Can you walk us through the results? What's next for the Oaks Project?
You betcha. So I'm pretty excited. I think we're going to actually get the last results. So basically, Riverside's drilling a very nice gold orogenic shear zone gold system, similar to what Equinox Gold is building, a $1.2 billion mine in Geraldton, a giant it'll be the third largest gold producer in all of Canada. So Equinox is building this giant mine, and Riverside is drilling just to the east of it at the Oaks Project. So on the first 5 holes, we hit intervals of gold. We're very excited by that. We hit nice gold up to 6 grams. That's a nice number in terms of grams. We hit nice intervals up to 13 meters and other thicknesses of gold. And now we have another 7 holes that we're getting the results back. We're doing the interpretation. Looking forward to putting out the news on that once we kind of get our QP and do some check assays on that. So I think overall, we definitely see that it's an exciting project, great location, right element. And if we are correct that if the Fed is pivoting, bam, that's the great time to be in a really good gold project. So the results are positive, and it's part of a large belt. So we have also done geophysics, and so that'll be other results. We've just flown a mag survey this summer, and so we have lots of stuff coming from the Oaks Project from Riverside in Ontario.
Okay, so let's talk about what's happening with some of the gold and silver projects that you have in Mexico. What's the latest? What can you tell us?
Really excited. I'm down here in Mexico right now. It's interesting. It's rainy, and just kind of the fall time is just kind of all the different storms happening, and the gold's good. So we actually have a gold silver project called Union Project. They're super high grade ounces instead of grams gold. There we're doing geophysics and doing work and doing exploration there. Lots of geochemistry. Exciting project. Also the Cuarentas project. High grades for gold and silver. Again, we're working, and down in Sinaloa at the La Silla. So we have 3 separate projects moving ahead in the gold silver space. We also have copper. So we have a lot of things going down here in Mexico.
Okay, so last question. If you're an investor in Riverside, what are you watching out for over the next couple of quarters?
First off, I'm so excited. I just bought more shares myself. I couldn't believe we're trading almost at our enterprise value. Basically, we have such a nice cash position of over 5 million cash. We have a small market cap of only 10 million, and we have over 8 million of partner money coming into the company right now. So we're in a great position. So in the next 2 quarters, we'll definitely see exploration results from the Oaks Project. We'll see exploration results from Mexico. And also on the copper side, And we're looking to get a whole other alliance going, plus the BHP Exploration Alliance that we're doing. We have 5 projects with BHP. So seeing news flow and chances for discovery on copper. So Riverside has 3 parts: gold in Canada, gold, silver in Mexico, and copper. So we have 3 different major catalysts, and then each of those has sub-catalysts. So super exciting time, and I've been buying more shares myself. Really like where we have for the future of Riverside.
Awesome. Thanks so much, John-Mark. Always a pleasure when you hop on here. And as we get some of these results coming in, let's circle back and you can maybe walk us through them.
Love it, Steve. And you do a great show. Super good. You're on it. Thanks a lot.
Awesome. Thanks, John-Mark. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. If you haven't already, please hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell, and let us know what you think in the comment section. All right. Thank you, everybody.